It's like a zombie apocalypse. People are just really frustrated by the whole San Francisco situation because everywhere in the US, you don't have drug overdoses at the same level as San Francisco. It's really, really sad to see this kind of stuff, especially it's America's #1 tech city. Right? This is where some of the biggest tech cities are born. This is like where Apple is, Google is where Airbnb started off with like a mattress. And now the city has really deteriorated to a situation where it should be on everyone's mind. But right now, San Francisco doesn't care. There's nothing being talked about. There's nothing being done about this massive drug overdose. Everything about the city is just so lenient. Right? Laws just basically have no power. You just have people robbing stores. And $950 is a misdemeanor. That's insane. And just have people just doing fentanyl on the streets and from the cops, and nothing is being done. And you may ask, okay, it's getting to the point where it's apocalyptic. It's getting to the point where so many people are leaving, and it's also getting to the point where commercial real estate is down so bad that probably the city has to address something. Right? And the city isn't really addressing much. Now I'm sure there's a lot of residents, and I'm sure there's even a lot of government officials in San Francisco and the Bay Area. They want it to change, but, okay, the city is just so left. They just can't make any sort of decisions. In fact, they'll much rather let San Francisco be a homeless encampment than have it be changed. Check this out. Sarah is still gonna hit another record high when it comes to drug overdoses. Almost 85 deaths last month, and residents say that alarming numbers are just more proof that the sea is becoming a zombie apocalypse. This is crazy, and most of these are all from the fentanyl overdose situation. If you look at this, 2023 is on pace to seat 2020, which hit a record high of 725 people. And they're pretty much saying that it may be hitting almost 1,000 people at the end of the year for San Francisco for drug overdoses. And it's crazy. Right? And not to mention, there's also a lot of people doing drugs. They don't want the help, and also they're just tense everywhere. The homeless it came in are spreading like crazy. Incentives just go, and the city isn't doing anything. Right? In my opinion, I think there should be some regulations on this. Okay. Just can't have people leaving on the streets. You can't just have fentanyl everywhere on the streets. And I said before, San Francisco's laws are just so lax, especially when it comes to drugs and the homeless crisis, that you just can't solve anything. There's even a law in the Bay Area where you can't actually do homeless sweeps. You can't actually remove tents from the sidewalks. You just can't. Right? The city is just so left. It just doesn't make any sense. And right now, people are just sick and tired of it. There's already so many tech companies leaving the city, and the city used to always have massive money in their coffers. But now in the next few years, we should be seeing San Francisco being in a big budget deficit. And then by big, I mean, owing like $1 to $2 billion, and they're gonna have to borrow money from the federal government to run basic necessities. And the city is slowly being ran to the ground. There isn't any sort of major change. And the only way for San Francisco to come back to its glory days is to have big change, which I'm not sure if the city or the voters are ready for. Check this out. More of San Francisco, homeless people, entering shelters, but also homeless encampments are on a massive rise. Homeless encampments are everywhere in San Francisco. And when people think about San Francisco, they have homelessness, drugs, and also massive crime sprees. The crime sprees in San Francisco are crazy. You already have Walgreens literally chaining up their freezers, and you already have upcoming a few more Walgreens and CVS's closing down in San Francisco. Go through Market Street. Okay. Go through the Mission. You're gonna be seeing many in stores, a lot of vacant storefronts, which used to be high-end storefronts that everyone will actually bid on the rent for now, are sitting empty. And these homeless encampments are spreading, and also you can't remove the tents. Let's say you want to invest in San Francisco, real estate. You bought an apartment complex. And suddenly, in the next month, there's like a bunch of homeless encampments outside your building. Well, nobody's gonna rent your building. I'm gonna be real. Nobody's gonna rent your building. And the retail space underneath your building, nobody wants it because there's just homeless encampments everywhere in that area. And you just invested $101 million this massive building with retail space. What are you gonna do about it? You can't sell it to anyone because nobody wants it. And this is a state of San Francisco. Okay. This state where investors are just really iffy about it. Right? They don't know what's going to happen to the city and how the city has so much lawness and how laws are just not strict at all, which really puts investors out of San Francisco. Not to mention a lot of their laws are still there outdated. They really just don't support businesses and also property owners, which is causing many of the wealthy individuals move their money out of San Francisco to other places, especially Florida like Miami. And I know some of you guys might not like rich people. You probably don't like them, but guess what? If you don't have any rich people in a city, well, your tax rate will be extremely low and good luck. You're not going to be having as good services as other cities who have a huge cluster of millionaires and billionaires. And that's exactly why Florida is flourishing so well. And also, this really shows you that even big tech companies are really sick and tired of this because you have several tech companies already relocating their conferences outside of San Francisco. And even San Francisco is the largest employee at, right? Salesforce. The Salesforce CEO says, "Why can't San Francisco be clean and safe every single day?" So the reason why San Francisco was clean and safe for just 2 or 3 days was because of the massive Salesforce Dreamforce event. Now, this is big because this is where all the AI tech companies are going to be talking about their future stuff. This is where all the big guys like Sam Altman, the guy behind ChatGPT, is talking. So this massive Salesforce event is big. Right? And Dreamforce is the one where people go to for AI. And San Francisco was like, okay, we'll clean up streets, make it super safe. We'll have police presence, but just only for 2 days only. And after the event wrapped up, San Francisco just went back to its crazy days. Just homeless people everywhere, tents everywhere, just people smoking fentanyl on the streets. It's wild. Right? And the CEO is honestly kind of sick of it as well. We already see Salesforce pretty much dialing down many of their biggest office buildings in downtown San Francisco. And we should be seeing Dreamforce perhaps being relocated next year because Google is doing it. Meta is doing it. IBM is doing it. And several of the smaller tech events have already started moving away. Like Google Cloud Next conference will be hosted last guess next year instead of in San Francisco. And it's actually confirmed, which is insane because it has always been in San Francisco ever since 2017. This is a massive event by Google about, cloud technology and the future of their software and certain departments. This is one of the events that gets a lot of attraction from international groups because it's Google. Right? And this is one of the events that only host one a year. And now they're relocating to Las Vegas, which is a good thing. Alright? Las Vegas is fun. It's hit. It's cool. You can even gamble at double the conference. Whatever you want to do. More importantly, Las Vegas doesn't have all sorts of different tents and stuff. We could be seeing many companies moving to Las Vegas and many of these conferences moving to Las Vegas because of its close proximity to California, so the traveling times is pretty short, but at the same time, just a better city. Right? You're seeing so many American companies moving to Sin City despite Las Vegas' reputation of being a massive gambling hub. It's also a hub where many tech companies are flourishing because you have this massive situation in California where they're just homeless as they were. Right? Crime everywhere, camps everywhere, and the state and the cities, especially San Francisco, are not addressing many of the core issues, which is causing, like I said before, many companies moving just places like Miami, Austin, even Denver, even Manhattan, and also lastly, Las Vegas. I mean, if San Francisco changes, it'll be great, and if that changes for the better, I'll definitely visit the city again.